Because for those who will be following on YouTube, they can access it. Yeah, Brenda, can you hear me? Hello, Brenda.
Samuel, the live stream is already on.
Oh, it's okay. You can proceed. No problem.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I greet you all once again. As I mentioned earlier, I've not been with you guys from the start due to some circumstances, and even yesterday I was supposed to be with you guys, but some inconveniences couldn't allow, and I really apologize for that. So today we're going to go through a session, and that is goal development and career path planning. Something very vital for all of us. So I request we stay attentive to it, and let's go through it. So the objectives of this, or by the end of this session at least, I'm expecting each and every one of you to understand what goal development means and the importance of developing a goal, and also to be able to distinguish between the short term, the medium term, and even the long term goals. You should be able to differentiate them. You should be able to know what a short term goal is and what a long term goal is. Also, by the end of the session, you should be in position to apply what we call the SMART framework. Okay, SMART goal frameworks to your personal development and also to your career development. And you also be able to map out a career path that is aligned with your skills, aligned with your values, and aligned with your what aspirations. You will also be able to identify tools and strategies, practical tools that will help you to stay on track with your goals and also with your career. So let's look at what goal development is. So when we are talking of goal development, this is a process. It requires an action, it requires a decision. So goal development is the process of identifying what you want to achieve and creating a clear action plan to get there. Okay? Identifying what you're exactly planning or willing to achieve by the end of the day. And not stopping there, but creating a clear action plan to get there. So it requires you taking an action. It's not just about wishing, it's about deciding, it's about planning, and it's about acting on it. That is what we mean by a goal development. So why is goal development important? Or why does it matter? Why is it important for us to develop a goal? You see, so it's important because a goal gives you a direction. If you have a goal, you have a roadmap. If you have a goal, you have a direction that you are looking towards, a direction that you are following. It gives a direction to your life and also to your what? To your career. Number two, it helps you build focus. When you have set a goal ahead of you, you won't be distracted, but you'll be able to focus and look ahead. You'll be able to focus and move the journey, intending that there is something ahead of me that I want to achieve. And you'll be in position to prioritize, what matters most. You won't just be moved any direction, but you will be focused, having a priority, having something that you are aiming at the end of the day. So number three, goals help us create motivation. When you have a goal, you stay motivated. Even when there are failures, even when there are hardships around you, you stay motivated. You know where you're going and you will work harder towards it. You won't easily be discouraged by any storm that comes around you. That's why it's very important to develop a goal or to set a goal before you. It also enables you to measure. You see that? You can be able to track a progress and celebrate a win. For example, if you have set a goal that I want to get this GPA by the end of the semester, for example, if you're a student. So if you have set that goal, after achieving it, you'll be able to measure, you'll be able to track if you have progressed, if you have improved maybe in your academics or in your GPA. And in that case, you'll be able to celebrate a win, you'll be able to celebrate an improvement, you'll be able to celebrate a what? A success. But if you didn't set a goal, maybe you got it by luck, it won't really matters. But once you set a goal that by the end of this semester, I want to attain this GPA, and truly you achieve that goal, you'll be able to celebrate it. You'll measure, You will track your progress. You will celebrate the little wins you make. So also setting a goal builds discipline. You know, you won't live your life recklessly. It will teach you some habits like time management, like consistency, like self-control. Let me use the same example of the GPA. For example, you are aiming at a certain GPA, right? It will make you disciplined. There are some of the things you will leave. There are some of the habits you will leave. You will have time management. You will set time from this to this time. I'll be studying. You'll be consistent in your studies, you see, because you are aiming at getting a certain GPA. You will also build a self-control. You won't just be moved anyhow. You will build that self-control. You will build a self-control that you are focused enough and you are disciplined enough. So this is why it matters to build a goal, or it matters to what? To set a goal. Yeah. So let's look at an example. For example, if you're just saying a wish without a goal, you can just say, I want to increase my GPA, right? That is just a wish. You have just wished to increase your GPA, but what action did you make? So when there is a goal, you will say, I want to increase my GPA. From this to this, it's specific here. From 3.0 to 3.5 by the end of the 2025 academic year. Here you're also having a time frame, right? Then also by studying 2 extra hours daily and attending all the tutorials. Here you have met, you know, an action towards it that will make it come to possible. So this is a goal. So you're aiming to move from 3.0 to 3.5. For how long? Or when is the exact time? By this year, 2025, not next year. You see that? And what you're going to do to make it possible by studying extra hours or attending the tutorials. You see that? So here the key message is that goals turn dreams into plans. So when you have a goal, it won't just remain a dream, but it will turn into a plan. And when it is planned, it will become a result or something seen and something what? Tangible. So here we are looking at the types of goals. We want to know how are they categorized. You see that? Because there is a goal that you can set for a day, a goal you can set for a month, a goal you can set for 10 years ahead of you. You see that? So we have short-term goals. So these ones are achievable within days or to 1 year. You can set a short-term goal for the year of 2025 or for the year of 2026. These are short-term goals. You can achieve them within days, within weeks, within months, within a year. You see that? So this one, it helps you focus on immediate actions that build a momentum, that builds a move, that keeps you going, keeps you moving. For example, complete a professional CV and a cover letter. It's a goal, a very short term goal. I think you people have already done this assignment. When you were given the task, I think it was on Sunday or Saturday. So you have set a goal of completing it, maybe within 2 days, or within that week, or within that time frame before it reaches Friday. You see that? You have taken from your time to make it possible. Maybe you want to apply to 5 internship opportunities. Maybe you want to attend a networking event this semester or this duration. So those are short-term goals. You achieve them within days, you achieve them within weeks, you achieve them within months, you achieve them within a year. You see? So let's look at medium-term goals. So we say these goals are achievable within 1 to 3 years of time. 1 to 3 years of time. You can set a medium-term goal from now to maybe 2028, 2027. It's a medium-term goal. So these medium-term goals, they bridge between what? The short-term actions and a long-term vision. Maybe you have a goal of 10 years ahead. So the medium term will bridge between where you are right now or between a year from now to that 10 years ahead of you. You see that? Example, you want to secure a full-time job in your field of study. You want to secure a full-time job in your field of what? Of studies. You want to complete a professional certification. This is a medium-term goal. You want to save money to pursue a master degree. Maybe now you are in your bachelor, you are still studying, or you have finished studying your bachelor degree. You see that? So you will work at saving some money for your masters. It's a medium term goal. You see that? So let's look at long term goals, or we call them a vision because it's ahead of you, very far from now. So these ones are achievable within 3 to 10 years, achievable within 3 to 10 years of time. They reflect your vision for life and also for career. You see that? So you have a long term goal, a goal that is still a long way to go. You see that? 10 years ahead, let's say. For example, you want to become a country director for an NGO. Maybe you are still studying. So it requires you to move a bit of a journey, a bit of experience, a bit of skills to build ahead for you to reach there. But you've already set it from now. Maybe you want to start your own consultancy firm, or you want to start your own organization or your own business. You see that? Maybe you want to buy a house and achieve financial independence. At the moment, you're still not independent, you're still depending maybe on your parents, depending on your family, but you have a goal that one day, one time, I'll build a house. So it's not something that you may achieve within 2 to 3 years. It may take you more years ahead, but you have set it from here. You have that vision, you have the image in your mind already. You're working towards building it. So this is what we call a long term goal. So, some key takeaways is that short term goals, they build a foundation. They are the start. They lay a foundation for you. And the medium term goals create a momentum. It creates the move for you. Then the long term goals, they give you a vision and a purpose, something that you will continuously look up to. All right. Yeah. So let's look at a SMART goal framework. This is a practical tool to take. So SMART goal framework. Sorry, with my slides. I was expecting something here. Well, so a SMART goal framework, it helps you identify your vision or purpose. SMART goal framework helps you identify your vision. Sorry, I'm moving fast. There is something I'm looking up to. Yeah, I think it happened. This slide is ahead. It's what I was looking to try to, but we will come for it. So, SMART goal framework, identify your vision or your purpose, right? Something that you are looking up to, something that you are aiming up to, something that you are hoping for in the future. And you begin it by asking, what do I really want to achieve? Align your goals with your personal values, your career aspirations, you know, or organizational objectives. Yeah. Then also define specific goals. Make the goal clear, make the goal precise. You see that? So instead of saying, I want to be healthier, make it specific. How do you want to be healthier? You see that? So you have to say, I will exercise for 30 minutes, 5 days a week. You see that? So by doing that, you will be healthier. So your goal has to be clear and has to be precise, has to be specific. So you make the goals also what? Measurable. Attach numbers, timelines, milestones to track the progress. You see that? For example, say 50,000 SSP by the end of 6 months. You may just say that I want to save by the end of 6 months. What do you want to save? How much do you want to save? You see that? It's important to attach a number, to attach a timeline, to attach a milestone for you to be able to track by the end of the 6 months. So you set something, maybe I want to save 50,000 by the end of 6 months, or I want to save 1 million by the end of the year. Make it something measurable. Then also ensure that goals are achievable. You don't set goals that you won't achieve at the end of the day, or goals that will lead you to a failure. See it, see your skills, see your situation, see the resources around with you, Then set a goal, you know, that you will be able to achieve with the resources that you have. You'll be able to achieve with the skills that you have. So the goal should be realistic enough, right? Given your current resources, your skills, and circumstances. You don't set a goal that you don't have the skills. You don't set a goal that you don't have the resources, right? It won't be achievable at the end of the day. It will lead you to a failure. So you need to be realistic enough when you're setting a goal, knowing that what you have in hand, knowing the situation around you, knowing the skills that you have. It's good to stretch yourself, but it's also good to avoid setting goals that set up for failure. It's good to dream, yes, it's good to set a vision, a big one, a good goal, but also be realistic enough as you are also stretching. Yeah. Then also check on the relevance. You know, it has to be relevant, it has to align. Does this goal connect to my bigger vision or priorities? You don't set goals just anyhow because you want to, but it has to be relevant, it has to match, it has to align with the bigger vision that you are having ahead of you. It has to align the priorities that you are having. You don't set a goal that is contrary. You set a goal that is what? Relevant. So you also set a time frame. It's very, very important. Every goal needs a deadline or a targeted date. The moment you leave the goal open with no deadline, with no targeted date, it won't be achievable. But set a time frame, have a deadline. Say by the end of this month or by the end of the year, I want to achieve it. And you will see the consistency and the effort you will put into making it real. For example, I want to complete my professional certification within a 12 months duration of time. So you will work within that time frame, knowing that I have 12 months. You see that? So these are the things to follow when you are setting a goal. Then also you need to break your goals into action steps. List small, manageable tasks that will lead you to the bigger goal, right? For example, if the bigger goal is to graduate or to finish a course, there must be small, manageable tasks that you will do that will help you or lead you to that. For example, studying 2 hours a day. For example, following tutorials weekly. You know, these are actionables. These are actions, manageable actions that will lead you to that bigger goal. So you need to break the goal into what? Action steps, small steps that will make you achieve the bigger goal. For example, to publish a book in 1 year. So to publish a book in 1 year, you need to break it into what? Outline chapters. You write a draft, you edit it, and then find a what? A publisher. Because a book won't just be published without you outlining the chapters, without you writing the draft, without you editing it, or without finding what? A publisher. So these are action steps that will lead you to the bigger goal of what? Publishing a book. You need to anticipate the barriers and the solutions. Sit and sort out, see around you what could be the possible challenges I may face and how will I overcome them. This will prepare you ahead. You know, you will go into something that you already know what could challenge me and what could be the barrier. And the moment you know it, you'll be able to make a solution for it. And it won't be a barrier anymore, but will be a way out for you. Example, if lack of time is a barrier, you need to schedule specific slots. If you identify that the barrier or the challenge could be you lacking time, you will prepare, you will try to set schedules and see how possible you will make it. Yeah, then you also need to track progress and review. It's very, very important. You need to always sit with yourself and track. You see, regularly check on your progress. How far did I move? How far did I come? You see that? And you adjust on the strategies if something isn't working. Because the moment you sit and try to see into the progress, if you realize there was no progress, there was no good move, you try to, adjust. You be flexible on the ways, the strategies. If that strategy didn't work, shift to the other for you to what? To achieve the goal. Then also celebrate milestones. It's very important. You don't need to wait on somebody else to celebrate you. But celebrate yourself, appreciate yourself for the little you have done, for the win you have made, for the move you have made. You see that? Recognize the small wins and it helps you stay motivated. You see? Rewards reinforce the habit of goal achievement. So these are very, very important things. Now let's look at what SMART is. Right? SMART is a powerful tool, to make your goals clear, to make them realistic, and to make them achievable. So it stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. That's what it means. So when you are setting a goal, make it specific, make it measurable, make it achievable, make it relevant, and make it time bound. So when we say specific, it has to be clear and it has to be well defined. You see that? Well defined goal and a clear goal, a precise one, a specific and direct one. You see that? I want to improve my skills. This is not a specific goal. How do you want to improve your skills? What skill do you want to improve? You see that? Instead, you have to say, I want to complete a digital marketing course. Here you have improved on your digital skills. You see that? But when you just say, I want to improve my skills, what skill do you want to improve? You have to be specific, you have to be precise, you have to define it well. So you can say, I want to complete a digital marketing course. In this case, you have improved on your digital what? Skill or on your marketing skill. So the M stands for measurable. It helps you track progress, a measurable one. For example, you may say, I want to apply for jobs. Here it's not measurable because how many jobs you want to apply for? You haven't specified. It's not well defined. So the right way instead you can say, I will apply to 10 jobs by the end of the month. You have specified the number of jobs you want to apply to. You have even included the time frame of it. You see that? So this is the right way. In this way, the goal is measurable. You have a number of jobs you have set that you want to apply to. Meaning when it reaches 10 jobs, you're good. You have achieved the goal. A, it stands for the achievable, right? It has to be something realistic. It has to be something considering your resources and also your time. You don't set a goal and you are very, very fixed. You see that? You are too fixed. You have no time. And there is a goal here you have said that you want to achieve it. You need to look into your time. You need to look into the resources you also have. You don't set a goal that is beyond the resources you are having. It won't make it realistic and it won't make it achievable. So it's very important that you set a goal that is realistic and considering what you have in hand. For example, I'll become a CEO in 1 year. You'll become a CEO in 1 year. Is this one achievable? It depends. You see that? So the right way you could say, I will gain 2 years of leadership experience as a team lead. 2 years of leadership experience. You see that? This one will make it achievable. You have gained the knowledge or the skill needed, the experience needed within a duration of 2 years. Then after that, you can now become a CEO. You can manage. You can become an executive director because you have learned the leadership skills, the managing skills. You see that? Then a goal should also be relevant. It has to align your career path and also your values. You don't set a goal that is contrary to your values or your beliefs. It has to match. You see that? It has to align with also your career path. For example, I want to learn guitar. If applying for HR role, how is it relevant? It's not relevant. You see that unless you want to be a musician, you want to be an artist, but if you are aiming at becoming an HR, the priority is not learning a guitar, right? It's not bad. Maybe you have the passion or you have the talent, but it has to be relevant at that point. You see that? So if you're applying for a HR position, you need to prioritize what you should learn. You need to prioritize the skills you have to gain. You see that? So if you're applying for HR, the goal you should set at that moment, a relevant one, is what? Attending a HR compliance workshop, internships, yeah, internship comes after maybe. compliance workshop, seminars, things to do related, relevant to the job you're applying to. You see that? Then it has to be time bound. Very, very important. It has a deadline. Don't just leave it open like that. I will start my master's someday. It will forever remain a wish if you don't set a time or you don't set a deadline for it. Someday, when are you going to start? You see that? So it's very important. Maybe I will enroll in master's program by September 2026. I will enroll for masters by 2027, by 2030. Even though it doesn't happen the same year, but at least it would have pushed you somewhere. It would have helped you move a step. But when you leave it open, it's just like a wish. I will start my master someday. And you will forever remain reluctant. You won't mind, you won't work hard to making it come real. But it's good to set a time frame. Look at where you are right now. Maybe you're a graduate already. Say at least after graduating, maybe 3 to 2 years ahead of you, you want to start your masters. So in that case, you will be in position to save money or looking for scholarships or anything of that related. But the moment you leave it open, it will just be a wish and it will not happen. So a key message here is that a goal without a deadline is just a wish. You see that? I will start my master's someday. It's just a wish because it doesn't have a deadline. You see that? So smart makes your goals practical and doable. When you set a specific goal, a measurable goal, the achievable one, relevant and time bound, it makes it a practical one. It makes it a doable one. And that's why it's important. So the next we are looking at career path planning. Career path planning. So what is a career? We say career is the long-term journey of your work life. A long-term journey of your work life. And it includes the job you do, the skills you build, and the experience you gain over time. That is what a career is. So there is a difference between a career and a job. A job is a short-term thing, but career is a long-term path, a work life, something that you do for the rest of your life. A job can be something temporary, you can do it for 1 year, maybe for sake of survival, for sake of pushing. But a career is part of your life. It's something you do for the rest of your life. For example, I'm a medical student, right? So my career would be in the medical field, and it's something that I will do for the rest of my life. It's not something temporary. You see that? So career is a long-term journey of your work life. It includes the jobs you do, the skills you build, and the experiences you gain over time. So what is a career path planning? We say this is a process of mapping out your professional journey from where you are now to where you want to be in the future. The process of mapping out, drawing your professional journey. You see that? So it's about identifying the roles, the skills, and experiences you need to grow step by step to your career. So, what roles do you need? What skills do you need? What experiences do you need to grow step by step into that career you are aiming at achieving? So, career path planning includes knowing what career you want. That is the start of it. What career do you want, right? Identifying the skills and the qualifications needed. If you want a medical career, or maybe you want to be a doctor, right? You identify it, or you know what the career you want. You want to be a doctor. You identify the skills and qualifications needed, right? Going for medical studies, you learn biology, anatomy, and all those things. And you come out with a bachelor, maybe in medicine or anything of that. Those are the qualifications needed for that career. You set short term and long term goals for it. It has to have short terms and also long term goals. You go maybe for clinical attachments, you go for internships, and all those things. They build your career. Then finding opportunities, you know, finding opportunities. This is all within the career path planning. You're planning your path, your career, the way to your career. So you go for training, you go for internships, you build networks with the people related. You see that? Then also tracking your progress. So those are the things that are included. So what are the benefits of career path planning, or why is it important, you know, to map out your way, or to map out, your career path? Why is it important? Number one, it gives you clarity. When you already know the career you want to maybe have in future, and you know the skills, the qualifications needed, you have a clarity, here you know the direction, you know what it takes to reach there. It gives you a clarity, right? Number two, it gives you a motivation. A clear path keeps you inspired and committed. You see that? You already know what you're aiming at by the end of the day. So it keeps you motivated. It keeps inspiring you. It keeps you committed towards making it real. Number three is skill development. You know, it helps you identify which skills you must gain at each stage. You see that? When you already know you have drawn the path to your career, you will know, the skills that you need to attain, or the skills you need to gain at each step as you're moving towards what? The goal, or to your career. Then it improves your decisions. You know that? Guides you in deciding which jobs, trainings, or opportunities to pursue. You won't just be random. You won't just be reckless in making your choices or making your decisions. There are priorities you will consider, because you already know the path you're going towards. You already know the career you're aiming at achieving of the day. So it guides your decisions. It helps you make the best choices. You see that in choosing the opportunities, in pursuing the opportunities or the trainings or the jobs. Then also, the benefit is that a long-term vision. It keeps you focused on your dream and not just the current job. You see, maybe your career path, or maybe your dream or vision is one day to become a doctor, and maybe currently you're a border rider. You see that? So the border riding will not distract you, because you have set something ahead already. You have drawn a map, you have drawn a path that you want to become a doctor, and maybe the border job, you're just doing it for survival, or even to pay your tuition fee, but you already have a long-term vision you're looking at. So this one will keep you focused. When you have drawn your path, your career path, it will keep you focused. You won't be distracted by anything around you, right? So why goal setting matters in career planning exactly? Specifically career planning. Why is it important to set a goal? Number one, provides direction. You see, so goal acts like a career compass. They show you where you are going in your career. When you have set a goal in your career planning, it directs you like a compass. It shows you where you are going. So without goals, you risk moving randomly from job to job without growth. For example, now I'm a medical student, you see. So I've already taken my path, my career path, and that is medical field. You see that? So this will guide me on the jobs I'll be choosing. I'm most likely to go for clinical attachments, go for internships in the hospital, and do medical related things. I won't have much focus on business things, much focus on social things. My focus and my priorities would be on medical things, right? And because that will build my career. You see that? So when you have set a goal, it gives you a direction, and you won't risk moving from job to job without growth. You see that? So when you join a job, or maybe you go for a job, you will be aiming at attaining a certain skill that is helpful to your career. Yes. So another reason why it's important, or why it matters, it builds motivation and focus. When you have set a goal in your career planning, they'll push you to wake up each day with a purpose. And it will helps you focus on what matters most and avoid distractions. You'll have a priority, you will have a focus, and you won't be easily distracted. And you won't even be discouraged. You will stay motivated and you will stay focused. That's why it's very important. Then it helps you also to track your progress. So when you have a goal, you can measure how far you've come and how far you need to go, or what effort you still need to put in, what went wrong, what went right. It's all, if you have a goal, that's what will help you track the progress. For example, last year I wanted to get an internship. So this year now I'm targeting a full job, right? A full-time job. No more internship. You see that? It also strengthens decision making. So when you're faced with choices, a goal will help you decide based on the priority. You may have several choices before you, but when you have a goal, you will know what to choose. You know, it will strengthen your decision making. You will consider if it brings you closer to your vision. You will consider if it's leading me right to my career path or to my vision. So you won't just decide randomly or anyhowly. You won't even be moved by just emotions because you have a goal, right? So it will improve or strengthen your decision making. You won't just decide randomly. Yeah. And it also increases confidence. You know, when you have a goal, you stay confident. Even when there is a failure, you won't be discouraged. You will stay confident. You see that? Even when there is peer pressure, by the way, you will stay confident because you have a goal. And that's why it's very, very important in career planning. You see that? You may be pressurized by your peer. Maybe let's say you are drawing your career after your senior four, right? So you have decided to become a doctor. That is the decision. And what is needed after is to enroll for a medical school or medical college. But then your peer may influence you. Maybe you would go to another course because of your colleagues or because of your high school friends and that. But when you have a goal, it influences, you know, your confidence because you already set a goal, and that is, I want to be a doctor. So nothing will distract it. Nothing will shake your confidence. You will remain confident on what you want to achieve and you will make it real. So achieving small goals gives you confidence to tackle bigger ones. And success is built what step by step. So setting a goal in your career planning, it's very important. It increases your confidence and it strengthens your confidence. The key message here is that career growth doesn't just happen by chance. It happens by design. So your goals are designed. You see that? You see, there are professionals and there are experts in fields, in careers. So those things just didn't happen by chance, right? They have designed it, they have taken actions towards it, and you have built in that journey. So you are here and you are supposed to start from where you are. You see that? So it doesn't just happen by chance. You don't grow in that career by chance. You don't become an expert doctor, a professional doctor just by chance. No, it happens by design. It happens by actions and consistency. Yeah. So steps in your career path planning. What steps are you supposed to take? You know, when you are planning your career path. First, let's look at this key message. Your career path is not a straight line. No, it's a journey that has steps. It's a journey that has turns. A journey that has growth opportunities. And the secret is to keep moving forward with clarity. You see that? So it's not just a straight line that you are just moving and you will reach. No, it has steps. You have to go step by step. It has turns. It has opportunities. And if you fail to grab the opportunity, you want to reach to the career. You see that? So it's not just a straight line that you'll just move and reach there. No. So the steps in your career path, number one step is self-assessment. A very important step. You need to identify your skills, your strengths, your values, and your passions. Don't go for something that you don't have passion for. Don't go for something that is not aligning with your values. Don't go for something that you don't have strength in or you don't have the skills needed. You see that? So when you're choosing a career or you're planning your career path, you need to be in position to identify what skills am I having, what strengths am I having, what values, what passions. And then when you are, taking the career, you need to align them. You need to ask, what am I good at? Identify it. What do I enjoy most? Right? What matters most to me? Your values, your beliefs. Those are important things. You need to assess yourself first of all when you are what? Planning your career. Example, if you value helping people, it's not just any career that would go with you. You see that? There are careers that would match the value you're having or the belief you're having. Maybe an HR, a human resource manager, right? You have the passion and you have that heart of helping people, a social worker. You see that? You like helping the society, you like helping the people around, or even teaching, or even a medical field. So there are specific careers that would align that value you're having. You have the sympathy. So it's very good to do self-assessment. It's number one step that you should make in career path planning. Assess yourself, know your skills, know your strengths, know your values, know your passion. Because when you have a passion for something, you will do it at your best. You see that? But when you don't have a passion for it, at some point you won't give it your best and you'll just do it for sake of doing it, which is very, very wrong. When you're choosing a career or you're drawing your career path, assess yourself first. Sit with yourself and know your skills, know your values, and know your passion. Number two, you need to explore career options. Explore, don't limit yourself. Explore and see how is the world around, how are things around. Research industries, roles, and organizations, that align with your skills and your values. After assessing yourself, knowing your skills, knowing your values, now do a little research. You know, see the roles that are matching with your skills. See the industries, that are matching with your skills, aligning with your skills. Use networking, informational interviews, and even online research. It's very, very important. You need to explore career options. You see, don't just go like that. Do some small research, do some small exploration, look around, see what it is. And it's good to also be flexible with how the world is, how the community is, and see also ahead the future. It's good. You be flexible, you be a researcher. Then set career milestones, you know. Break your career into steps or stages. You don't just go once. You need to break it into steps, into stages for you to reach a milestone. You see that? Example, internship, assistant, officer, manager, then you become a director. I think in most of the careers you start with internship, right? You don't just graduate as a medical student and you want to be maybe a lab manager or maybe a director. You see that? It's not possible. So the moment you are done, you first start with an internship. After the internship, you maybe become an assistant, right? After becoming an assistant, you become an officer, you become a manager, you become a director. So there are milestones, there are steps or stages that you go for, and define what success looks like at each stage. You see that? At the stage of internship, at the stage of being an assistant, at the stage of an officer, define what success looks like. That is very important. The other is identify resources and networks. It's very important. You identify your resources, training programs, mentors, fellowships, and professional associations. Build relationships with people in your field. You can follow them maybe on LinkedIn. You get mentors of that field. You build a network. The resources available for you. Whom do you have around you? A mentor? Is there someone who has inspired you? Is there someone you're looking up to? It's very important. Identify those things, right? The training programs available, see them. The fellowships available, all the professional associations that are there, and build the networking, connect with people. It's important. The other thing is continuous learning and adaptation. Learning doesn't stop. You need to continuously learn and also adapt to the changes, adapt to the progress. You need to adapt to the advancement. It's important. Careers evolve, right? They do evolve. So be ready to learn new skills. You don't need to be fixed. You don't need to be rigid. You need to be someone who adapts, changes, adapts the new styles that comes in because the world is evolving. Now technology is coming in and it's something that you need to adapt. Almost in every field, in every career, technology is in. So it's something that you need to adapt to. You see that? Something that you need to adapt to it. And be someone who is open to learning. Continuously learn new things, learn new skills. I'm glad that people applied to this fellowship. It shows that you are learning, you're adapting, to the world around you. Like the sessions, you are learning things to do with Google productivity too. So those are things, you adapt to them, you learn them. I believe it builds. We are from different, maybe careers. You see that, but these sessions are bringing us into one accord because they are touching almost all careers. You see that. So these are learning opportunities you should engage yourself with. Example: digital literacy. Yeah, digital literacy. It's very important to have the digital knowledge because the world now is becoming digitalized. Everything is computerized. Everything has to do with technology, leadership, or technical certifications. You see that. So stay adapted to market changes. This is one important thing. See the market, the changes in the market, the need in the market. It's also something you need to consider. When I was choosing this field, I'm currently pursuing bachelor in medical laboratory sciences. But at first, I applied. My number one option was medicine. You see, so I applied for medicine, but I was admitted in medical lab, and I had a plan of changing after my 2 semesters. So after doing my 2 semesters, I had to see the market. We have a lot of doctors in the field, but we have less laboratory scientists. You see that? But they are all medical fields, and almost the work is related. So I have to look at the market and adapt to the change. And I continued with medical laboratory sciences. You see that? So you need to look into the market as well. You need to look into what is needed. And now, as I will also be choosing my department, there are departments that are marketable. There are departments that has a lot of people. It's something also you need to consider in what in career path planning. Like, you see that. So we have a lot of microbiologists, but we have few of histopathologists. So it's something that you have to see and look into. It's part of career path planning. You see. So at the end of the day, you'll become a histopathologist, and that is you have adapted to the market changes. Since now the market has a lot of microbiologists, you need to go for what is also needed most, right? Or what has more opportunities ahead of you. So these are the things to consider, in career planning. So let's look at the barriers to achieving your goal or to your growth in your career. And number one barrier can be lack of clarity. Not knowing what you want can lead you to random choices, and at the end of the day, failing to achieve a goal. So lack of clarity can be a barrier to your career growth. You may be choosing opportunities that are not helping you grow in your career. You see that? So it can stand as a barrier. The tip is always define your goals clearly and use this smart format. Define your goals very clearly. You see that? See a relevant goal. Don't go for a contrary one, the one that won't help you. Go for a relevant one. Go for an achievable one. Go for a specific and a well defined one. You see that? So another barrier could be fear or self-doubt. You see that? You may think, I'm not good enough. What if I fail? You see, those things can hold you back to not make your goal or to not make achieve or to even not grow in your career. But the tip is you need to focus on progress and not perfection. So if you're progressing each day, you're making improvement, you don't need to focus on the perfection because it's the little progress you're making each day that will lead you to that perfection. The little improvements you're making each day that will lead you to that perfection. So you don't need to doubt yourself and you don't need to fear. Stay confident, build confidence, and trust the little that you're doing. You see that, and focus on the progress you are making on it. It might be little, but also it's making sense and it's mattering. So another barrier could be poor time management. You see that, spending time on distractions instead of actions that move you forward. It can be a barrier. You spend much of your time in things that are not helping. You see that, and you spend less time in what matters. For example, if you're a student, let's take an example of maybe you're a student. You see that, so you don't get much time with your books. Most of the times you're doing things that aren't matching, things that are not really helpful. So at the end of the day you won't achieve the GPA needed. At the end of the day you won't maybe finish or graduate in the time frame you have set. You see that? So a barrier could be poor time management. It can be a barrier in your career growth. It can be a barrier in achieving your goal. So you need to be good at time management. You use planners, you use calendars, or set goal daily priorities to avoid distractions or to avoid spending your time in doing things that are not what? Are not necessary. The other barrier could be limited networks. See that? One great asset you can have is having a network, a rich network, you know, a wide network. It's good that you've joined this fellowship. You have one thing you have benefited is a network. You know, we are here today with those of Brenda, with those of Samuel. We didn't know ourselves earlier, but it was through this fellowship we have built a network. We have known ourselves. And I believe after this fellowship, you'll build a wider network. So it was this fellowship, through this fellowship, I was introduced into LinkedIn. And through LinkedIn, I built connections. You see that? I've widened my network. You see that? So I believe after this fellowship, you'll have a wider network. And it's very important in your career growth to have a wide network. Because opportunities often come through people you know. You see that? If you don't know people, you won't have the opportunity. So today I'm having the opportunity to present this session. It's after building a network, and it's through this fellowship because I'm a graduate of this fellowship, cohort one. You see that? So you will have an opportunity through people, and it's good to build a network. You know, build a network. Don't limit your networks. Have networks, build connections, join LinkedIn. I don't know, I think you're not yet introduced into the LinkedIn station. It's very, very important. It connects you to people with great minds. Actually, it's far better than the Facebooks we keep using, the TikToks and all those. When you have a LinkedIn account, you build good connections. You are connected to people that are visionary, that are having visions and great dreams and purposes. You see that? You need to attend events, site fellowships, you need to talk to mentors. So it's very important in your career growth. If you have a limited network, it becomes a great barrier. You may have the skills, yes, but you don't have the connection. You won't have the opportunity, which makes it useless. It's good to have the skill and also have the opportunity to make it real and make it successful. So build network, have a wider network, engage with people that are like-minded to you. Another barrier could be lack of resources. So resources is not just money. It can be the skills. You may lack, let's say, digital skills. You may lack the digital skill and maybe the career needed that. It can be a barrier. For example, you want to do computer science and you don't have the digital skills. It won't make it real, isn't it? Yeah. So one barrier could be you lack the resource, you lack the skill, Another could be money. You could lack the money, right, needed for that career growth. And another could be the training. If you're not trained, it doesn't mean you can't grow in that career, but you lack the resource. You are not well trained on that. You see that? So sometimes you don't have the resources right away. So the tip is start with what you have, then gradually build capacity, right? It shouldn't completely be a barrier. You start with the little you're having, and gradually, time by time, you will build the capacity needed for that career growth. Another barrier could be giving up too early. Consistency, persistence is very, very important. You don't need to give up too early. Even if you fail today, you need to rise again. Be consistent, have the hope that tomorrow I'll make it. You don't need to give up at all. So many stop when challenges come. So when a challenge comes, when a failure comes, when a hardship comes, you don't need to just give up. You need to be someone who has the persistency. You need to keep going, keep moving, keep pushing, even when things are hard. You need to have the resilience in your career growth. So you want to really grow. If you're someone who gives up too early, you need to be someone who is resilient enough for you to make it or to achieve a goal. Sometimes some goals could really seem difficult, challenges could come, and you just feel like giving up, but you should never give up, right? You need to stay consistent. Smaller steps lead to bigger results. They say always a million a million miles away. It starts with a single steps, right? Yeah. So you don't need to give up. You don't need to give up. Keep pushing, keep consistent, and you will make it. A key message is that barriers are real. Yeah, they are part of life, but they are not the end, right? They are not the end. With planning, persistence, and support, you can overcome them. You need to seek out for support also at some point. There are some challenges you won't just overcome them, but you need to reach out for support, isn't it? That is important. So barriers shouldn't be just a blockage, though they are real, but you need to overcome them. You need to plan well, you need to be persistent, and you need to seek for support, and you will overcome them. So you need to have these practical tools. We're almost winding up. Practical tools, for you guys in your career planning and all those. Number one is journaling. It's important. Write down your goals. It's going to be part of our assignment. You need to write down your goals. Write down your progress. It's good to have a diary book or a notebook. Eh? It's very important. You write down the goals, short-term goals, what you want to achieve tomorrow, what you want to do next week, what you want to achieve next month. What you want to achieve by 2026. At least you should have goals for 2026 by now, isn't it? So you write down. Writing down is very important. You should be journaling. Write your goals, write your progress and reflections. This will help you track your growth and identify the patterns, the systems around. You see that? Example, you need to end each week with what I did. What did I achieve? What is next? At least by the end of the week, today is Sunday. At least you should have tracked this week, right? What did I achieve throughout this week? And what is next? You start your Monday tomorrow, knowing what you achieved last week and what is next. Have a vision board, okay? Visual collection, maybe pictures, words of your goals and dreams. You see that this keeps you motivated, right? It keeps it alive, your long term vision alive and motivating. You have something visual, something you see, you know, maybe pictures or words, written words. Example, you pin messages of your dream career, your dream house, or workplace. You see, those things at times look childish, but they play a very, very big influence, or they do a great difference in our goal achievement or even what career path. You need to have a visual board, have a vision, have pictures, words of the future. We build it through the words we speak, the image we draw, the imaginations we have. So keep it alive, keep your vision alive through those, and stay motivated. Another practical tool is a goal tracking app and planners. We have apps that would help you to track your goals. They remind you of the deadlines. They remind you things to do with job applications. I don't know. I think people are using Google Calendar. It reminds you the sessions every time, right? Today we're having this session. So those are the things, you need to have these apps because technology now is helping. Have these apps, have the planners, they will help you. These are practical things. You set it. So when you set it, it will remind you, though you are at a position of forgetting it, it will remind you. Then accountability partners. The people you are with matters. You need to share your goals with a trusted friend or peer who checks on your progress. Someone that will feel responsible for you, you know. For example, maybe you have a partner and you both agree to apply to 2 jobs this week and update each other. You see, someone that has accountability, someone that is responsible, someone that feels accountability. Both of you agree